In this episode, I'm all by myself, Doug's getting back from vacation, 2 races, and lots going on. Strap in and welcome to the Race Pace. Welcome to Race Pace, brought to you by CW Motorsports. I'm Chad, and I'm unsupervised today. As you can see, I'm out here in my barn, which I normally am when we record. Just a lot going on. There's another Yamaha Rhino sitting outside right now that I'm working on for a guy that lives down the road. We got a Wolverine back over here that's getting the engine rebuilt still. That's my dad's. He's kind of slow on it. And my X3 there in the background. So we'll jump right into it. It's going to be a pretty quick one because I'm by myself and I don't generally ask myself questions and answer them. So, this weekend there was IXCR, which I did not get a chance to get to, and there was Extreme, which I did go to that one. I had to pick one or the other. Extreme was closer, and a majority of the guys that I really hang out with when I get there went to Extreme. Plus, man, it saved about an hour and a half's worth of driving, so I will take that all day long. I'll give you the rundown on IXCR. I know Devin Smith went down there, Matt Rowell, Matt Hecker, a few guys that we talk about on a regular basis. But I'll give you your top 10. I don't know. They have it kind of weird. They have 2 people above where it starts at number 1. So I don't know how they've done this. It's a little bit strange. So I'm going to read you off 2 extras, if that makes sense, plus the top 10. So, Josh Kennedy from Spencer, Indiana, Ryan Mason from North Vernon, Indiana, Cole Secoy from Hopewell, Ohio, Dwight Pollard from Clarksville, Georgia. That's a Tire Spine Dwight. He's just been a terror out there on everything. Ty Phillips, he had some bad luck, but looked like he finished pretty good. Matt Rowell, he was what they're calling 4th. Is it 4th or 6th? I don't know. From Crawfordsville. Mitch Wolford from Ashland City, Tennessee. David Sauter, Brownsburg, Indiana. He's from CNR. He runs an X3 there. Don't get to see him out there too much, but it was good to see him get out and race some. Mike Zadgel from Avon. Gary Manuel from Peru. Brad Ashby from Peru. He went out there and ran. That's good to see. And Matt Hecker from Zionsville. We've talked about Matt before. I've ridden with him. It looked like, from what I saw of the track, it wasn't a bad track. There was some rough spots and some fast spots, and that's kind of what it was. I don't have a whole lot of information on it because the guys are really just getting back anybody who stayed. So unfortunately, that's what I've got for that. Now on to Extreme. Went out there. It was a little on the warm side, but not too bad. It's like as race time approached, it started getting real hot. We had kind of from the normal groups that we run around with. I had Alan Burton there. Brad and Cam Mapes were there. It was good to see them. They came all the way from Stockton, Illinois. That's about a 6.5-hour trip for them, so that is nothing light. Barry Miller was there. Michael Plank was there. And Andrew Shipman showed up. He's from over in Missouri. And it was, I don't know, it was like a 4.5-hour trip for him. So that's not a short trip for those guys. Ralph Lovell was there. And Ralph was as ornery and as rascally as he ever is. You can kind of expect that of Ralph. But the track was, honestly, I walked a little bit of it. I kind of tweaked my back last week, so I didn't walk too much. I walked probably a mile and a half of it. It's about it. And then I turned and jumped off and hopped on the road and kind of walked back to where we had parked. So the track was really good, though. They had built some nice jumps, and I was a bit concerned about them at first because they were really radius. They were set up for the quads. But Jeremy Cooper, the track builder there, he stopped by while the PM quads were running. He said, hey, just to let you guys know, if you walk the track and you're kind of concerned about those jumps, we're going to take some of the height out of them, lengthen the faces, and get them to where you side-by-side guys can hit them and not kick the tail end up and flip. So that was good, and they did a great job at that. There was a couple field sections that were nice and open, lots of hills, pretty wide all in all, even in the woods. So not bad, not super rocky to where you were just cutting up tires horrible or anything. I mean, really not bad. So before the race, we all had to chuckle because Ralph's sitting there in his car, and Ralph being Ralph, he goes, "You know what I forgot to do?" And we were like, "What?" And he goes, "I forgot to fill up the car with fuel." And he runs the 85, and he runs a big tune, and that thing drinks fuel. He was really concerned if he was going to make it through the race. He ended up not making it through the race. I didn't get to talk to him after the fact because I had to head out, but I'll explain that all here in a little bit. So on the start, it was a good start. Alan Burton was on the front row, and man, that thing lights quick, and he just was gone. It was great. And by the second lap around, he had a good 30-second lead on Ralph. Ralph was in second, Ralph Lovell. And man, it was good. So the funny thing is, I sit there and I watched and I videoed all the starts and everything, and I'll get them uploaded here to Instagram and Facebook in the near future. But I videoed all the starts, jumped in Barry's Defender that I was borrowing, ran down to the open field section because I wanted to get some of the jumps that you guys might have seen I've already uploaded. And as I'm going down by there, Barry's just ducking into the woods, and he's behind everybody. I couldn't figure out why in the world Barry was so far behind everybody. Well, come to find out, Barry decided to go turtle on us and put it up on its roof. He said he was going into the last corner right before the woods, and he just got in a rut, and it just cut in under him and just flipped him. He had no time to react, no time to try and drive it out of it. So that makes it rough. It happens, though. I mean, I think we've all come really close. Some of us had put it on the lid more than others, but things happen. It wasn't that big of a deal. The car is relatively unharmed. He bent an antenna, kind of pushed some light brackets around, and kind of dented his roof up a little bit, but you really couldn't tell much other than the bent lights, and the antenna was just bent over. So not a big deal. The car was fine. Actually, some guys were standing right there and had him flipped over real quick, and then he took off and kept going. Ended up making up some good time. So I got down there to the field section, watch these guys jump. Alan had a good lead on the second lap, and by the third lap, Ralph was right on his tail. And I mean right on his tail. Ralph probably had made up the 30 seconds and was within 5 seconds of him. So Ralph was moving. He was not concerned about running out of gas right then. So, yeah, great race. Andrew Shipman ended up getting flat. He didn't stop because he kind of looked at it. Well, it's a $100 tire. It's already tore up. And the wheel's like $50 because I think it's a Rock and Trail factory wheel is what it is, factory beadlock. So he's like, if I tear it up, I'm out a $50 wheel and I'm already out the tire. I might as well just keep running just because. And he did. He kept running, turned laps, did good. Who else did we have out there? Michael Plank, he just ran solid. He ended up finishing 5th, which he started in the second row, but just ran a solid, good race. Not the fastest out there, but a good, solid race. Barry was trying to make passes and get caught up. Cam Mapes, he was doing pretty good. He was running really well. Like, he was keeping up with Barry Miller. Barry got around him. And was putting a little bit of distance on him, but nothing like he was just getting ate up out there. But he ended up losing his four-wheel drive, and I think he said his belt fan went out. It might have been his engine cooling fan or his belt fan, but something was going out. And then when he lost four-wheel drive, he was going up the Pro Hill or one of the hills back there, a bigger hill, and flipped it up on its side. So he, after that, he pulled up, and I was with his dad, Brad. And he said, I've lost four-wheel drive on my blower and this and that. And they said, well, just put it in the trailer. It's no sense in tearing it up. And they were on the last lap. By the time he got out there, he would have been last. And he had lost several positions due to rolling it up on the side. What else did we have going on there? I have to give props to Alan Burton. Man, he just runs that thing so hard. It's a little RS1, and he is easily 120 horse down on Ralph Lovell's X3 because he's pushing. I know the tune Ralph's running, and he's pushing right up around 240 horse, 230, 240, something like that at the motor. So it's no slouch. That car is fast, and there's a big back section in a back field that was about a mile long or so, little right around there. And Alan said he could make up about 30 seconds in the woods on Ralph, and then Ralph would just freight train on him through the open sections. And he could hold him off if he had enough of a lead, but he said on the third or fourth lap, whatever it was, he was running 82, which is topped out on his machine. That's all it'll do. It's bumping off the rev limiter. And he said Ralph went by him like he was standing still. He was easily doing 95 or better, just flying. So it's unfortunate, but what ended up happening is Ralph ended up breaking his front diff, and then I don't know if he broke his rear diff. Someone said they thought he might have, trying to finish laps, or if he ran out of fuel, I don't know. But he ended up not, Ralph didn't finish, but when Ralph broke his front diff, Alan was then faster than him all of a sudden because he could gain traction, probably except for the big open field. But man, Ralph did the sportsman thing, and Alan was just up on his bumper. Ralph pulled to the side and let him go because he knew Alan's fighting for points. So, man, props to Ralph for doing that. That takes some real sportsmanship to say, yeah, I'll let you go by. He could have held him off, and he could have, battled him and just slowed him down in the woods. But he did the right thing and let him go on. And, man, it was a great race. Those guys, Alan led 2 or 3 laps, and then Ralph led a couple, and it was just back and forth. And if you watch some of the Facebook and Instagram videos, you'll see that they were just like seconds apart from each other the whole time. If anybody made a mistake, it was basically the other ones taking the lead. So it was great. It was a great race. Extreme put on a great event. Good time all around. So stuff we got coming up in the future. I'm going to wrap this up. This one's going to be on the quick side, like I said. I got stuff coming in for the X3. It's made it in. So we're going to be getting some video done of that. It's just time. Man, I'm just running out of time. And when I take my Saturdays and go to a race, I just don't have that day to go do anything on that. So working on it the best we can. There'll be some videos coming out of that, some changes, some big stuff that's going down with it. So keep your eyes out for that. First of all, though, before we get out of here, I want to thank all of our sponsors. Of course, CW Motorsports being our primary sponsor. Man, those guys are great. Engines, diffs, transmissions, used razor parts, whatever you need, get a hold of them. They can hook you up with it. Spangs Fab, they build some great, solid parts. Just, bumpers, tree kickers, A-arms, radius rods, you name it. Full cages, full mild-to-wild builds. They do great. Watch Communications, they host our website. They also they provide internet for like rural locations that don't have it. I think they do a point-to-point style. So in the Indiana, Illinois area. So if you guys are looking for that and you don't have it, check them out. They may be able to help you with that. And 834 Powder Coat. Matt was also out there at Extreme. I didn't get to see him. I drove by his trailer. There's nobody there. He was probably just out running around. I didn't get to see him. So Matt, sorry. Didn't get to see you. I looked for you. Maybe you were hiding from me. I don't know. But we want to thank all of our sponsors. Man, you guys, we couldn't do it without you. It's great to be able to have people back us and know that you enjoy the content that we're producing. So if you guys want to check us out, this video, if you're watching it, is on YouTube. You can check us out there. Remember to like and subscribe. Also, the podcast audio version goes out on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and pretty much all the other places that aggregate podcasts as far as like Podcast Addicts and all that. So, I talked a mile a minute. Got a ton to do. I got to get that Rhino done. So, no matter how busy you are, make sure you get to some of these races. Have fun, because the races, we don't want it to run away from us and get away from us. So, have a good one, and thanks.